Welcome back to Ethically in Kaushik here. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the essentials of sport-specific training. Let's get the cat out of the box with the so-called functional fitness, which is masquerading as sport-specific or athletic training. Training for sports specifically has now turned into this circus show called functional fitness on social media, where people are promoting crazy, fancy exercises as exercises that the general populace should follow. I'm going to be dividing the video into three parts. Number one, functional fitness, what it is and what it is not. Number two, second order effects of bad functional training. Number three, essentials of sport-specific training. Exercises that you perform to develop a particular training goal is by definition functional. A moral status has now been attached to functional training, and anyone who's not doing functional fitness, or anyone who is not programming functional fitness, so-called functional fitness, is considered to be bad or having a bad training methodology. That is not how we should be pursuing this. Training for a specific goal and training for injury prevention are two different aspects, and at times it may merge and at times it may not. An advanced athlete at the highest level will often do risk-benefit assessments while performing a particular type of movement so that they gain an advantage over their competitor. Let's take an example to clarify this. Take a bodybuilder. He or she will do upright rows to develop their traps, or maybe they'll do leg extensions to develop the quadricep muscle so that it looks bigger during the competition, so that they get an edge over their competitor during the competition so that they can win a medal. In that case, it is beneficial, so it is proving to be functional, but does it fall under the bucket of so-called functional fitness, which is developed for injury prevention? No, not in this case. Hence, we should ensure that a moral status is not being attached to a particular type of exercise or a training program, but we should look at the exercise or the training program for what it is and whether or not it provides the necessary benefit for the person who is pursuing this benefit, whatever the person's benefit goal is in that particular training cycle, or maybe at that moment. So let's talk about functional fitness that is trending on social media. People do crazy stuff to gain followers, which is beyond preposterous to me, and they don't think about the second order effects such information does to their followers. I may even go as far as to indict that these people don't have good intentions to their followers and are just using their platform and their followers to make quick money because of their sponsorship deals. Anything goes as far as making a buck. Integrity, character, and other good virtues along with their brain is flushed through the fucking toilet, because they don't use that, because anyone who has or who is educated will not prescribe a single leg barbell back squat on a fucking Bosu ball to a rank beginner, or not even putting out who this information is targeted at in their post descriptions. A beginner attempting such exercises may make some gains because that is a new stimulus to the body and the muscles will grow, but it doesn't mean that the stimulus was right for that person. There are better, safe, good return on investment type exercises for rank beginners. Now let's delve deeper into the second order effects. What if a person looking at it tries to do such exercises who may not have the strength, stability, or mobility to be able to get down to the squat position on a single leg because this influencer said so? What is likely to happen? This person is most likely going to get injured and will always have a negative memory of the gym because of this bad injury, and they'll wholly give up on their health. What if a person looking at it immediately gets discouraged, saying, I can't do this, I don't have the ability to do it, and gives up on their health again? So these are all second order effects that one needs to think about when putting out such information on the internet. When we enter into the arena of sport specific exercises, we are talking about people who have trained for a long time on their strength and conditioning, which are their basics, and who are now building upon those basics to build better attributes that help them excel in their sports. You need to keep two things in mind when you are thinking about sport specific training. If you're a rank beginner, don't go to your trainer and ask the person to write a sport-specific training program for you. It is not advisable. Number two, if your trainer is prescribing exercises that are usually prescribed to advanced athletes, then you should get the hell out of the gym. The person doesn't know what he's doing. Hence, build your fucking basics first. Without the basics, going into sport-specific training is a recipe for disaster. Do not skip this step because you feel bored. I mean, the difference between an average Joe and a high performer is the number of boring sessions that the high performer puts in compared to an average Joe. Hence, if you want to be a high performer, you need to be able to take it slow, build your basics first, and then upon that foundation, you build your sport-specific attributes. Moving on to the essentials. Number 1, specificity. Any exercise that you choose needs to be specific enough so that it translates well into your sport or your movement or a skill that you need to develop in your sport. Let's take an example to clarify this. Take a footballer, a soccer player in general. This person needs to have the ability to run faster for short periods of time, needs to have the ability to run at a reasonable pace for longer periods of time, needs to have the ability to jump higher, needs to have adequate strength across the whole body. These are some of the general attributes for a football player. We can now drill deeper into the specificity component here and look at football players in different positions that they play in. The set of attributes that a goalie needs to have is going to be different from the set of attributes that a midfielder will have, which will be different from the set of attributes that a winger will have. These are just the physical training aspects alone. Now we need to think about the ability of this person to run with the ball in different positions. Then we need to think about team capabilities for the entire team who are training in different training methodologies. So how can they gel well together so that they can achieve the goal? No pun intended. Hence, the concept of specificity and the avenues for experimenting with specificity is humongous when it comes to team sports, and it increases with the amount of players that are in that particular team. Number 2, we need to think about variation and individualization. Variation and individualization will kind of be linked together with specificity, as we talked about in the footballer example. Variation of a particular exercise should be specific enough so that it translates well into the type of movement or exercise or drill that sport demands of you. It should offer a cumulative effect and not a destructive effect. Individualization is another component that you need to take into consideration when you're talking about specificity and variation, because the types of exercises will be dependent upon the age, sex, injury history, training history, etc. We also need to think about overload and fatigue management. I'm not talking about it in detail because those two components are going to be givens in any advanced training protocol. Any advanced training protocol will have to have these components built into it so that the trainee is able to overload and push themselves beyond their limits while also having adequate capacities to recover from that fatigue due to that overload. Number 3, phase potentiation may be required for certain sports. Take for example a martial artist who is competing in a heavyweight division. This person needs to have adequate muscle size and also strengthen those muscles to knock the fuck out of his opponent. Hence, in this case, phase potentiation may be necessitated because strength and hypertrophy in their purest form physiologically are competing attributes. There are 4 key takeaways here. Number 1, don't fall into the trap of these trending fitness programs such as functional fitness. Number 2, as the name suggests, specificity is king, especially when it comes to sport-specific training. Number 3, before moving into advanced sport-specific training, build your basic foundation of strength and conditioning. Number 4, phase potentiation may be required in cases of certain sports. I hope this video was helpful to you. Let me know if it did in the comment section below. We'll talk about joint fitness, flexibility, mobility training in the next video, which will be posted next Sunday. Like and share the video, subscribe and hit the notifications button so that you receive a notification when I post the next video. If you would like to get a personalized training and or a nutrition program, send me a message on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or send me an email for which appropriate links will be provided below. I'll see you all in the next video. Keep making those gains.